Willingdon Island is one of India's largest artificial man-made islands situated in the heart of Kochi in the state of Kerala. It was created from soil dredged from the deepening of the Vembanad Lake around a very little tiny island, a natural island. It has now become home to the Cochin Naval Base, an airport, the Cochin Port, the Cochin Shipyard, an abandoned railway terminus, and a wide range of commercial establishments and hotels. I was transferred to Willingdon Island as the manager of an insurance company in 1970. My office in Commercial Union House also had an upper floor which was converted into my residence. This residence was one of just 3 private homes on the commercial side of Willington Island. So we were quite lonely at times. The office building, which was constructed by my office, was set in almost 1 acre of underdeveloped land. Our immediate wish then was to convert that large space into a garden, a landscape garden. Whilst Kerala is known for its lush greenery and ability to grow crops of many types, our property on Willington Island, which had been created by dredging soil, seawater and sand, was very unsuited for the cultivation of flowers, fruits and vegetables. Our so-called garden was a terrible and messy sight. So one of the few options available to us was to improve the space and convert it into a garden. And the only way we could do that was to import large quantities of fertilizer and proper soil. This turned out to be a rather expensive affair. The management refused to sanction the budget. As luck would have it, as insurers, we had to settle a marine insurance claim for a sunken barge in which there were several bags of tea leaves. Wet tea dipped in port waters had no salvage value. The port authorities insisted on our clearing the sunken barge urgently and move it out of that port. I decided on experimenting with the tea leaves. So what I did was, had the tea leaves, the damaged ones, transferred into the home, and we spread it out into that garden, so-called garden space at the back. Believe it or not, this turned out to be a great fertilizer, resulting in an oasis of very lush garden with lots of flowers, fruits and vegetables amidst the commercial buildings and warehouses. Over the next few months, the garden turned out to be a great joy, not only for our growing children, but also for the luxury of seeing the flowers, fruits, vegetables, and fresh coconuts. These began to grow quite abundantly in that plot there. And one of the unusual features of this garden used to be dwarf coconut trees, which literally allowed the short gardener to stretch his hands out and pull out the coconuts. He used to have a little knife to do that, but he pulled it out and extracted the coconut juice from this and served it to me as my morning refreshment in the office. Coconut juice instead of tea or coffee made a wonderful change. Apart from the roses and lots of flowers, we also grew papayas, lemons, and mangoes, which were initially very few in number. So, in an effort to enhance the growth, we did a major trimming of the trees and then witnessed an abundance of papayas, lemons, and mangoes, which gave us opportunities to use the fruit to make juices, jams, pickles, and chutneys. These were shared with some of our neighbors, and there weren't too many at that time. But somehow the sharing of the fruit became a wonderful opportunity to make good friends. One other feature of the garden was during the monsoon season, and there's a lot of rain in Kerala during the monsoons. The lower part of the garden used to get flooded. So one of the things we decided to experiment with was growing rice. Very little happened initially, but one definitive moment of our stay in Willingdon Island was the gardener handing us a bag containing rice grown in our garden on the very day we were about to leave for our next posting in Coimbatore. It was a really touching feeling. Receiving that bag of rice was such a lovely feeling, justifying all the efforts and hard work we had put into changing the landscape of our garden and home. A few years later, we decided to visit our old home in Willington Island, where we had had such a wonderful opportunity to live and make friends. We were absolutely devastated and shocked to see that our beautiful garden had been converted into a dumping ground for damaged cars and trucks, which had been abandoned by the insurers after paying total motor insurance claims. Thank you.